This model should not be free. That is the whole problem. Ox Alpha just appeared with no normal launch, no famous lab on the label, no founder thread, and somehow it has the exact feature list developers usually have to pay serious money to touch 1 million tokens of context, 131,000 tokens of output, text, images, and video in, tool calling, structured output, reasoning switched on, and during the preview, the price is zero, not cheap, zero. That is why Ox Alpha is not just another model on a router. It feels like somebody opened a side door into a frontier lab, pushed a model onto OpenRouter, and left before anyone could ask whose badge they were wearing. And the mystery is not just who built it. The better question is, why would anyone release something this capable anonymously? Because if Ox Alpha is even close to what it looks like, this is not only a strange model, it is a strange new way to launch AI. No keynote, no brand, no clean explanation, just a model ID, a free price, and developers asking the same question over and over. Who built this thing? Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe for more like this. Now back to the video. Ox Alpha showed up around August 20th, 2026 under the stealth provider name on OpenRouter. That provider name is doing a lot of work. Not OpenAI, not Anthropic, not Google, not z.ai. Stealth, that is not subtle. It is a model card wearing a black hoodie and an AI that is weird in a very specific way. Small models need attention. Startups need attention. Labs need attention. Everyone wants the launch post, the benchmark chart, the demo clip, and the founder quote. Ox Alpha arrived with almost the opposite posture. Here's the model. Here's a giant context window. Here's multimodal input. Here's reasoning. Here's free usage. No, we are not saying who made it yet. That immediately turned developers into detectives. People started comparing tokenizer behavior. They looked at video token budgets. They looked at response shapes. They looked at error messages. They asked the model what it was, which is funny, but mostly useless. A model saying what it is should not be treated like a passport. These systems will claim they are Gemini, Claude, GPT, GLM, or whatever the text nudges them toward. The more useful clues are the boring ones. Tokenizer fingerprints, serving behavior, wrapper tokens, latency, and refusal patterns. Infrastructure is worse at pretending than language is. And that is why this story became interesting so fast. The model did not just have a mysterious name. It had enough substance that the mystery felt worth investigating. The first reason developers cared is the 1 million token context window. For a normal chatbot, that sounds like a flex. For a coding agent, it is a weapon. Most agents do not fail because they cannot write one function. They fail because they forget the system around the function. They miss the config file, ignore the test helper, and treat a repo like a pile of snippets instead of a living thing. 1 million tokens does not magically fix that. Long context can still be wasted. A model can still stare at an ocean of text and pick the wrong paragraph. But context is oxygen for agents, and Ox Alpha showed up carrying a tank. Then there is the output limit. 131,000 tokens is absurd for normal chat. Most people do not need an answer that long. But agentic coding work is not normal chat. A serious run may need a plan, file edits, test reasoning, error analysis, and a second attempt. Short output limits quietly cap the ambition of the task. If the model runs out of room halfway through the job, it compresses the exact part where you needed precision. Ox Alpha is shaped like somebody expected it to keep working. That is the important bit. This does not look like a customer support chatbot. It looks like a model designed to sit inside a coding agent and grind through messy work. Tool calling, structured output, reasoning, multimodal input, huge context, huge output. Those are not random checkboxes, those are agent ingredients. And when those ingredients show up for free, the obvious question is not, how do I get unlimited AI? The obvious question is, what is the provider buying? Free AI is usually easy to understand. It is tiny, limited, rate capped, a demo, or subsidized by a company that wants users badly enough to eat the bill. Ox Alpha is different because the free part is attached to capacity that does not look cheap. 1 million token prompts are expensive to serve. Reasoning is expensive. Video input is expensive. Long outputs are expensive. Coding agent users are especially expensive because they do not ask one cute question and leave. They paste repos, run loops, and ask the model to inspect, plan, revise, and try again. So if Ox Alpha is free, someone is almost certainly buying something. Maybe they are buying feedback, load testing, leaderboard attention without attaching a brand, or proof that developers notice the model before they know the company. That last one is the clever part. Brands distort model launches. If OpenAI releases something, people bring OpenAI expectations. If Anthropic releases something, people bring Claude expectations. If Google releases something, people bring Gemini expectations. If a Chinese lab releases something, a different argument starts before anyone opens the playground. But an anonymous model gets judged differently. People judge the output, The failures, the speed, and whether it survives real work, no halo, no brand penalty, no fan war at the starting line. That is a very useful experiment. Stealth strips the logo off the model and forces the internet to react to behavior. That is why the mystery is not decoration. The mystery is part of the test. Now, the internet does not stay logo free for long. The strongest theory is that Aux Alpha is connected to the GLM family from z.ai. That is not confirmed. No lab has officially claimed it. OpenRouter is not naming the provider. Aux Alpha itself is not a reliable witness, but the GLM theory is not coming from nowhere. People have been comparing tokenizer fingerprints, video behavior, wrapper tokens, response structure, and error shapes. That is not a birth certificate, but it is better evidence than asking the model to confess, and the broader pattern fit. Chinese labs have been aggressive with open weight models, coding models, long context, and price pressure. DeepSeek changed the cost conversation. Qwen pushed strong open models into developer workflows. Kimi made huge context feel normal. GLM has been pushing into serious agent encoding territory. So if Aux Alpha turns out to be a next GLM variant, the shock is not that a Chinese lab can build it. The shock is the launch style. Use it first. Argue about the name later. That is a much better growth loop than a press release. And if the model is good, the mystery becomes distribution. There are already community benchmark claims flying around. One small coding run had Aux Alpha solving 8 out of 10 coding tasks. That sounds spicy. It also needs a seatbelt. 10 tasks is not enough to crown a king. Community benchmarks can be useful, but they can also be noisy, prompt, sensitive, and hard to reproduce. Aux Alpha might be genuinely excellent. It might be excellent at long coding tasks and average somewhere else. It might also fall apart in another harness. The number is interesting. It is not the verdict. The better signal is behavior. Are developers wiring it into tools? Are they trying it on real repos? Are they comparing it against paid models? That matters more than one leaderboard screenshot. Developers are lazy in a useful way. If a model is annoying, slow, flaky, expensive, or dumb in the wrong places, they leave. So when an unsigned model starts getting pulled into coding workflows, the question is not whether it is officially the best model. That phrase is usually a trap. The question is why people are willing to move real work through it at all. That is the clue. Benchmarks make the headline. Usage makes the story. Now for the part that ruins the party, because it should. Do not paste sensitive production code into an anonymous model just because the price says 0. That should be obvious. It will not be obvious free plus powerful. Makes people reckless. OpenRouter routes requests. It is not the model developer, the hidden lab, or the upstream provider. During the preview, that upstream provider is anonymous. Some listings say prompts and completions are not used for training. That is good. It is not the same as never retained. And anonymous provider is not the same as enterprise security review. Aux Alpha might be fantastic for throwaway experiments, public repos, synthetic tasks, benchmarks, and weekend agent runs where nothing sensitive is involved. That is where I would keep it. Give it a public repo, a made-up system, a failing test, or a long context task without customer data, credentials, private business logic, or unreleased plans. The strangest thing about Aux Alpha is also the risk. You do not know who is on the other side. That does not make the model bad. It makes your threat model simple. Treat it like a powerful stranger, useful, maybe brilliant, maybe the most interesting free coding model of the week, still a stranger. My read is simple. Aux Alpha is probably not random. The feature set is too deliberate, the capacity is too expensive, and the agent focus is too specific. This looks like a serious lab testing a serious model while avoiding the full blast radius of a branded launch. Could the GLM theory be wrong? Yes. Tokenizer clues can mislead outsiders, serving layers, shared infrastructure, and wrappers can make clean identification harder than people want it to be. Could the model be worse than the hype also? Yes. Early mystery models benefit from selection bias. People post the impressive runs, they do not always post the boring failures. Could the free preview disappear or become expensive? Almost certainly. You do not serve frontier scale reasoning forever at $0 because the internet has good manners. So the practical take is not switch everything to Aux Alpha. The practical take is pay attention. Try it on tasks you can safely share. Compare it against your current model on your actual workflow. Do not worship the benchmark. Do not ignore the privacy boundary. Do not assume the free price lasts. And do not underestimate what it means that anonymous models are now good enough to make developers stop and investigate. That is new. Not the existence of a mystery model, the quality of the mystery model. So what should you actually do? First, test it while it exists. A free mystery model with this spec sheet is worth trying before the preview changes. Second, keep secrets out of it. No private repos, no customer data, no credentials, no internal incidents, no unreleased product plans. If you would not paste it into a random web form, do not paste it into Aux Alpha. Third, test the thing it is supposedly built for. Do not ask it to write a poem about JavaScript and decide whether it is good. Give it a coding task with context, a public repo with a failing test, a messy issue, or a refactor across files. Make the million token window matter. Fourth, watch what happens when the preview ends. Does a lab claim it? Does it become a named GLM model? Does the price appear? Does the rate limit tighten? Does the privacy language change? Does the model vanish? The reveal matters less than the transition. The preview is the experiment. The launch is the answer key. Aux Alpha is not important because it has a mysterious name. It is important because an anonymous model is now strong enough, available enough, and cheap enough to make paid models look nervous. That is the line that got crossed. The old version of this story was a weird model appeared and people guessed who made it. The new version is a weird model appeared and people started using it for real work. And that is much more interesting because if a mystery model can show up, take a million tokens, reason through coding tasks, accept images and video, support tools, and cost nothing during preview, then the next AI launch might not start with a keynote. It might start with a strange model ID, a free price, and one uncomfortable question: who built this? And maybe the better question is, what are they testing on us?